I like this nibble. I use that's my backup mic. I use the Blue Yeti.
Is that one any good?
Oh yeah. It's basically the same. Like it's the same company. It's the same. Build and quality. It's just a slightly bigger version is all it is.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the swag, man.
Yeah,
I'm pin them up. I'll probably figure either I put them over there or I'll pin them up right here so they're background,
Yep,
I always like taking little stuff from people and putting it on the background.
Yeah, man. I always like to get weird shit made for my podcast and whatnot, because then, if I die or whatnot, there'll be, memory of it actually existing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know, we already started.
All right, on. Yeah. Cool.
I don't have an intro music yet. I'm gonna work on that, but do you have an intro to your podcast?
Yeah. I just use some royalty-free music and
I know a DJ, a rap artist, DJ Pre-K.
Cool.
I've had him on the show a couple times, and he's told me about making.
Yeah, dude. If you've got a friend like that, you should get him to make something real personal. Because that's a cool thing to have.
And he's told me before. Last time he was on, he's like, "Just tell me, I'll make a theme song for you. Just write down the lyrics, what you want me to say." And I'm like, "Cool." But I don't know how to set it up to where it plays on the computer, and then how to stop it.
I mean, you would have to have some sort of way or somebody else, I think, to... Or you could just have it that it's the exact length you want it to be.
Yeah. So
that it just plays once, and then, say it's 30 to 45 seconds long or whatever, and just have it, naturally fade out, so that all you have to do is, when you hit record, hit play on the song, and then it will just stop itself whenever it plays through. I don't know. I honestly, I really don't know what I'm doing in some ways.
That's the only thing.
I just figure it out as I go along.
That's the only... Yeah, I've been doing that, too. That's the only thing I don't know how to do it yet. And I know Twitch has a way to where you actually have music playing before you even start, and it, notifies people that you're about to go live, and it gives them a couple minutes so that they can log in and check it out. But I don't know how to utilize it that way. I really feel like I'm not using Twitch to its fullest capabilities.
I feel that,
use it.
yeah.
But
how do you like Twitch? I don't really do much on Twitch at all. I have a Twitch channel, but I barely use it, to be honest.
I like it because it's just how I do it, I guess.
Sure. Yeah,
but as far as they have rules, and I kind of ignore the rules.
That's fair.
Yeah, I really don't care.
I feel
for the most part, the people who watch on Twitch are watch me get shut down after me saying this. the people that are watching are usually friends that know and go watch live.
So they're not gonna report you.
No,
and that's the only policing is if somebody complains about you.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm big enough to where they actually care yet, to where somebody's watching it, and I'm fine with that.
I live so much of my decision making process in that exact way. It's if I do this, nobody's really gonna notice, and if they do, I'll mark that as a success because it means I got big enough for people to care.
Which is cool. I like it. I have subscribers on Twitch, and I don't know if they watch or not, but my views on Twitch, it looks like 594. And I think that's I'm not sure if that's per episode or whatever that is. But, and then I have, if I combine all my views together, it's maybe about 1,500.
Oh, okay.
Because I have,
cool.
I have 600
Thank
here.
Thank you so much.
Oh, watch out for the mic, it makes a lot of booming noise.
Oh, thank you. You're amazing.
Here, and this is the first time I actually go through it because you're a fellow podcaster, so you understand the struggle of getting people to watch, new people to watch that don't know you.
It's hard, dude. Real hard.
And you have a good theme, you do the Simpsons thing.
Yeah, I've been doing it's called Best Darn Diddly, Diddly, for 3 years now.
Let me pause right there in the conversation because we're really getting into it, and I haven't even talked about my sponsor yet.
Oh shit! Yeah, dude. Yeah, do your podcasting thing.
Okay.
Talk about it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rudy-nomics podcast. Today, my guest is Miles Francis.
Hey, so glad to be here.
Yeah, he's a fellow comedian and host of what's the podcast name?
Best Darn Diddly, Diddly.
The Best Darn Diddly podcast, and that is about The Simpsons, which I am hoping to get on it, and I also am very interested. Thank you, Laura. You're the best.
You really are. That's amazing. She put salt on the rim and like the lime, and this is a fancy.
She's my lovely assistant /
Thank you.
Girlfriend. Where was I? Okay, I was introducing you. Talked about your podcast.
You guys talk about your sponsor.
I'm about to talk about my sponsor. This episode is brought to you by the Anchor app. If you guys want to check out the Anchor app and just want to catch the audio, I'm also on Spotify. All of it, the Rudy-nomics podcast, RUDY. What's that line?
Underscore?
No, not the underscore. The other one. Slash.
Hyphen? Slash? Is it straight across or is it diagonal? That's a hyphen.
Hyphen.
Yeah.
Hyphen-nomics podcast. God damn it.
I'm less offended that you didn't know the name of my show now. Like, you're still figuring out your own show.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, we're also brought to you by what's my camera?
Hempies. Love the hemp people at Hempies.
Yeah, they're the new sponsor to the podcast, and if you go shop there at Hempies here in Cooper, off of Cooper in Arlington. We mentioned you heard about it through the podcast. You get, I think, 15% off.
Dude, so actually I wanted to talk to you about Arlington because, like, I agreed to come out here and do the podcast. I'm super happy to be here. But you're like, yeah, I live in Arlington. And, like, for people that don't live in Arlington, like myself, I just assumed that Arlington was Six Flags, the ballpark, and Cowboy Stadium. So I, like, assumed I was going to Jerry World to, like, you know, talk with you on there. But no, like, Arlington is really big. Like,
it kind of is.
It's really spread out.
If you have to go through Arlington and just take the main roads, yeah, it takes forever.
You can't even see the Texas Giant from here.
No.
Yeah, like, that's crazy to me. Like, anytime I'm in Arlington, like, my point of knowing where I am is like, oh, there's the roller coasters. Now I know which direction to go.
Well, the good thing about Arlington is that it's surrounded by highways.
Yeah. So that's true. It's got a lot of highways.
If you're trying to get somewhere from point A to point B, if it's not like traffic hour, Monday through Friday, let's just say it's like 10 o'clock at night and you try to get to the other side of Arlington, you just get on one of the highways and just go around.
I imagine that's not bad for doing the open mic scene because, I mean, I know you've got a couple of places that have open mics here in Arlington. Plus, like you said, you just hop on whichever highway goes in the direction you need to. You can pretty easily get to Dallas. You can pretty easily get to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And all the little, communities in between.
Yeah, just hop on the highway. I mean, it's not like I'm in the middle of Arlington. I'm like, Highway 20 is a little bit south from here, maybe 3-4 minutes south.
Yeah, I would say you're closer to Fort Worth. It seems like you're closer to Fort Worth than you are to...
Yeah. Fort Worth, Fort Worth is about like 30 minutes, and Dallas is like 35, 40.
Right on.
But yeah, Hempies. Oh, and they gave us they gave me a product to try out, which
Sweet.
I'm gonna try out. They want me to try out these grape. Have you had these yet?
What are they?
They're the little cones.
I mean, I've had the cones. I don't know that I've had this brand.
Well, this one is, it's flavored. They're
Great.
Tasty Puff, Tasty Tips. So they're this one's grape flavored. So once we're done doing a little introduction,
we'll do a product review right on camera.
Yeah. They asked me about that. They're like, "Can you do a review of the products?" And I was like, "Yeah, whenever we get to that point." But since I didn't do it ahead of time, while we're talking, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this for us.
Multitasker.
Yeah.
Dude, like, it's embarrassing how bad I am at rolling a joint. Like, even those pre-rolled cones that you just stuff them.
Yeah.
I fuck that up, like, all the time. I can't, like, I don't have the dexterity. I'm not really sure what it is. But...
Well, I'm bad at rolling joints too. By the way, this is all CBD.
Yeah, of course. We live in a
CBD
state where
tobacco,
THC is illegal, so there's absolutely no... Or what's the legal limit of THC here? It's definitely less than...
less than 0.5 or 0.3.
That, I mean, I can tell by looking at that, there's definitely less of THC in that grass.
But CBD is very good for you, and maybe one day I'll get a CBD sponsor.
Yeah. That seems like
actually, I had a vape sponsor through Instagram, but they wanted me to buy their product, and then, they'd give me a code number or code name or whatever. I could do it that way, but I was like,
Would you do Rudy, or what would you have a... Rudy seems like an easy thing to, like, type in and remember.
Yeah, probably Rudy.
Yeah.
So this is a comedy name anyway. I am looking for something to stuff these because this one didn't come with it. Okay, yeah.
I might have a pen if that helps.
You know what? First problem is that you do need something to stuff these, and the other one that I have came with it, and this one doesn't. But that's okay because I'll just improvise. All right, guys. So,
Here,
tasty tips. How about we?
You want a pen?
Put something
Would
in
that help?
That would help.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that.
Pen in the
Teamwork
pocket.
makes the dream work,
Pen
man.
in the pocket, dude. Yeah, boy. Chicken. Okay, let me. Okay, so Miles, how long have you been doing comedy for?
Well, I've been doing stand-up comedy specifically since March.
Mm-hmm.
So only about 8 months, but I mean, I started doing improv before that, and that's a whole different animal. But you know, still performing on stage, and then I've been doing my Simpsons podcast, which has an element of comedy to it. Like we goof off and we chit chat, we do little skits and whatnot, and I've been doing that for like 3 years.
So wait, did I hear that right? You've been doing the podcast before you did the sketch thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
I started actually so. Look, I actually love telling this story, so I'll tell it now.
It's cool.
I started with podcasting, right? And I've always loved stand-up comedy, but I was always afraid to do it because of how much I loved it. Like, if I failed at stand-up, it would, like, really bum me out. Versus, like, other shit, I don't really care that much. Who cares if I fail at it? So with that, I start this podcast about The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And I have, I'm fortunate enough that I've actually had several Simpsons writers on my show now. In fact, tomorrow, Bill Oakley is going to be on to talk about Homer's Enemy. Great conversation we had a few weeks ago. I edited it. It's coming out tomorrow. But the first Simpsons writer I had on the show was a woman named Carolyn Omine. She still works the show to this day, and
she's a writer.
She's a writer for the show to this day. Season 31 currently airing right now, which is crazy. But yeah, so she comes on the podcast, and she's just so generous with her time. Excuse me, and we had like a 2-hour conversation. And when we were talking about how she got her start into the business, she gave such a huge endorsement to improv comedy. She essentially said that out of everything that she ever did, she was in a band, she went to school, she got her degree, all these various jobs, the number one thing she felt like launched her into her career was starting to take improv classes.
Really?
And doing improv performance. And like, I was kind of in a place there where I was like, just, you know, like, wanting to do anything I could to get that podcast going. I'm like, you know what? I'm taking this as a sign. I'm going to go take improv classes. And at the time, my entire purpose was just to make my podcast better. Like, that was my whole thought, is if I do improv classes, it'll help me be better on the fly whenever, you know, things aren't going smoothly on the show. I can help, you know, steer it back on track. But I ended up really enjoying it. It's something that I still do to this day. I perform on a troupe here in Dallas called Denim.
Yeah.
I have a couple of shows this month, actually. And what's fun about improv is it's just silly make-believe for adults. I mean, that's really all it is. But I got involved at Dallas Comedy House, and they also do stand-up there. And, you know, through some really... One thing I'll say about stand-up is... about improv, it's one of the most supportive things you can ever do. Like, in terms of, like, team-based type stuff, like, literally it's all about support. Like, it's all about making the other people you're on stage with look good. And, like, fortunately, I had some, like, good improv mentors that kind of urged me to do the stand-up side of things, too.
Yeah.
And then, once I had my first time on stage, was March of this year, man, it was just it was all speed, or full speed ahead from that point on. It was all stand-up. And, I mean, I still enjoy improv, I still enjoy podcasting, but I am a stand-up comedian. That is what I'm here to do. Like, that's what I'm dedicated to become great at.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad that you're able to find your niche, I guess you could say. I mean, your podcast is still doing pretty good, right?
And don't get me wrong, that's not a dig at Best Darn Did It. I love my podcast. It's my baby for sure. I've worked really hard at it for years now, but I just, like, you know how it is. You're a comic. You, like, to me, I feel the most alive when I'm on stage telling jokes and, like, it's going well.
Yeah, dude, actually, my last, probably like my last 3 or 4 sets have all been going really good.
Good, bro.
I actually haven't bombed in a week.
Nice. Knock on wood for you.
I know. I mean, I'm gonna bomb eventually when I try some
It
new
happens to
stuff.
everybody, of course.
When I try some new stuff, but like lately, I've just.
But you found a groove.
I think I did. I think I might have a little way of doing my thing.
Good for you, man. I've seen you. You're very funny.
I can be. Just sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes is that? Yeah, that's what I put it.
Well, dude, you can tell the same set, like in two different rooms, with the same energy and everything, but like for whatever reason, it just works at one and it doesn't at the other.
Yeah, I actually had that problem happen recently.
Yeah.
Not this past week, but like 2 weeks ago, I was at Dusty's in Denton.
Oh yeah, I know Dusty's very well.
And I did my set there, a new set. First night trying it out, went really well. People laughed. People had a great time. Same set, maybe a few words here modified, maybe changed. Maybe I left one or two things out. But there's always stuff that you say is kind of irrelevant at the time.
Sure.
When you're first trying something out. And I was at Zach Rippey's mic, Matt Hatter's with a pretty good sized crowd, and nothing really, like maybe one laugh at one punchline. And I was just like, what the hell? Like I would think it would have worked better because there's a lot of people there, and just didn't work there. I don't know what happened, but I'm still doing it, and it's
you're alive.
I've changed my cadence, not cadence, my delivery on the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is funny because I've been doing it with a glass of wine.
Nice, classy.
And what I like about that is that when I need time to think, I'll just sip the wine. Like I'm just like, I'm just gonna sip this real quick, and then it gives me a couple of seconds in my head to think of something. Cause usually when I wanna, or like I take a dramatic pause.
Sure. Yeah. No,
I've been using it two ways: a dramatic pause, and also when I need to think about what's the next thing I'm supposed to say.
I'm trying to work on getting better at that, actually. Like, that's one of my biggest critiques of myself. I know we talk about this, but I record most of my sets to try to listen back to them and try to improve and whatnot. And one of the things I always kind of want to, like, slap myself on the wrist for is if, like, you get into a stall and you do the thing where you're like, let's see, or what do I want to talk about next?
Yeah,
I feel like
man.
such a hack comic whenever I do that. But
I don't like it either.
It's hard to just stand there in the silence. Like you said, you got to find, like, a way to, like, get comfortable with that and to do the long pause and to look comfortable, even if inside your brain you're like, oh shit, what's the next thing that's supposed to come after this? Oh yeah, there it is.
You know what I also found for myself? That if, for one, I hear a lot of comments doing like, and there's a word for that when a person does that. I forget what it is. I learned in speech
like
class.
Stall words or?
No,
it's like an actual, like, term.
Yeah, there's an actual term for that, for doing something like that. I learned it in speech class in college. I went to college, actually.
What?
I went to college for like a year and a half.
Yeah, me too. Did not go well.
I don't like doing that. And so I found that, and also when I do something like that, I actually tend to get stuck more of what I'm thinking, rather because I'm saying and it just kind of drags it out even longer. Because
right, it's not like a flow word. It's like
no,
a
but if
stall
like,
word,
but so I've noticed I've noticed that when I'm talking, and I'm okay, what am I gonna do next? I'll just take a sip, and by the time I'm done with the sip, it's already in my head. And I'm not like dragging on that pause, and I don't know. And I also used to go up on stage sometimes and be like, I don't really have anything I want to work on. So, and then people would be like, what example? What's his name? Diaz. Man, really, I don't want to describe him because to me, if I describe him, it's not really. He's very flamboyant.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's like so many people.
I don't think flamboyant's the right word. To me, he's like prissy.
Interesting.
Diaz.
We'll have to look him up.
Oh, come on, shit, man. He runs the Sunday mic. The Sunday mic. He runs the Sunday fix your thingy.
Yeah, I know you're talking David.
David Diaz, yeah. David Diaz.
The Build-A-Bit over at the
Build-A-Bit.
Improv, Addison Improv. Sorry, yeah, I know David. He's a good dude.
Well, he used to, when they were doing it at Arlington Improv, they had their mics there. He used to pretty much...
hold on, I want to... Flamboyant is definitely not the right word.
No, not flamboyant.
David at all.
No, it was not. It was not. No.
Sorry.
No, it was prissy. The word is prissy. At least to me, it's a little prissy. What was I saying? He he used to run that mic, and I remember I would go up there and be like, I don't know what I'm gonna say, or I really not have anything I want to work on. And I remember hearing him and seeing him make comments, be like, not this again, type of thing. And I was just like, yeah, man, that doesn't sound too professional.
Well, how long, speaking of professional, how long have you been doing this whole scene?
Almost 2 years.
Damn, dude, on the grind. I see you all over the place in DFW, so.
Yeah, I try to go everywhere. I try to rotate. Like I told you, I think I told you a day or two. Was it yesterday? I told you that I want to rotate my mics more.
Yeah, we were talking at Hyenas in Plano yesterday.
Ready?
Hell yeah.
I wanna come to your spot and do your mic. Oh yeah, you also run a mic.
I do, yeah. I do the Hat Tricks mic on Mondays out in Louisville, and I just took that mic over actually a little over a month ago. I started at the beginning of October, so almost 2 months now. Actually, it's been going well though. I've the biggest change I made is I started a roast challenge, which has been really fun. So basically, how that works is every week we roast somebody. And I get an audience member to be like the judge of who has the funniest roast. And if you win, you get a $20 cash prize. But to claim your prize, you have to come back next week and be the person that gets roasted.
And then you get your money.
And it kind of keeps it going perpetual. And then throughout the week, I get to like advertise so this week's winner was Vito Pernetti. He's a Fort Worth comic here, and he's a SoundCloud rapper. So I'm really hoping for a good turnout of people to come and bust his balls on Monday. And like I said, it's all in fun. It's all about having a good time. Comics all make fun of each other in like a very loving way, but we say really terrible shit. So it's really fun.
Yeah, we do when we're outside just hanging out.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm confused, or it kind of intrigues me that we don't do this a little bit better. We don't heckle each other on stage like in a positive, fun way. And I see when it does happen, it's very fun. I'm not saying do it all the time, but I feel like if you're on stage and like these are mics and maybe there would be a time where it's just mostly us comics and if you have a funny heckle,
it could like help that comic in the future.
I think it'd be fun to just say it, because I had do you know who Nick Guerra is?
Yeah.
Nick Guerra. I had him on the podcast a couple months ago. And he's been doing it for 13 years.
Wow, yeah.
He's in LA. He travels all throughout the US, and he was telling me about what it was, how the comic scene's changed so much since he was here. Because he started off in Fort Worth Hyenas.
Nice.
And so he's a Fort Worth comic, Fort Worth. He's a Hyenas comic, and then he moved on. But he was telling me like man, it's changed so much. Like we used to we used to just go into each other when we were
like on stage.
On stage, yeah, just
funny.
go. We would just just fuck with each other and heckle each other all the time, because the crowd was also a lot smaller. The comedy crowd was smaller, like the comics.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's a lot bigger.
DFW has a huge open mic comedy scene. Like compared to some other, obviously LA, New York, Chicago, they trump us, of course. Probably Atlanta. But like if you just go to like any random city, and even Houston, like we have such a thriving mic scene right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like there is like we bust each other's balls outside, or off stage. But definitely on stage, there seems to... I think there's definitely a respect side to it, and even what you're talking about isn't a disrespect thing, but nowadays it's just people would get so upset about, oh my god, you talked during my set, I only got 5 minutes, and you talked during 45 seconds of it, you ruined my night. And it's just like, dude, come on.
I've never heard somebody actually say that.
No,
But, like,
I'm being extreme, but still.
But I kind of feel like it builds a little camaraderie between all of us comics, and you know, I think it, you know, it would improve us a little bit, and also make our skin a little tougher, because we are gonna be heckled when we start working with real crowds. Yeah. And I feel
all
like
comedy clubs encourage drinking, and drinking makes people assholes. Yeah, so like,
I just feel like not everybody's gonna be prepared for when it happens, for when that time comes. And,
sure.
Kind of sucks.
I feel that. Yeah, it's interesting that you have that perspective where he was able to reflect on like this location, this scene, but like a decade removed. Like that's interesting to hear that it's changed that much. Because I mean, you're 2 years in. I'm not even a year in. So.
Yeah, and even with me, well, no, it hasn't changed too much for me since when I first started. Not too much yet. Some people have came and gone. That has happened. I've seen some people come and gone.
Sure.
And it sucks because a few of them I one or two of them I know I liked, and I was hoping to see them more often. And yeah, they kind of.
It's weird when you make these like friends that you see in short doses. Like you know, it's like you travel to the same mics and you see them for a few minutes before and after, and you do a little bit of razzing, and yeah, and it's just like even in the short time I've been in it, it's just like weird when somebody just kind of disappears. Like they're just like they're there 1 week and then they just ain't there anymore.
What's really weird is when like you'll see them like like you said 1 week, and then you don't see them for a while. Next time you see them, you're like, God damn, you put on weight.
Yeah. Maybe you should get back on drugs, bro.
I went sober. Jesus Christ, man. What you replace it with? Fucking McDonald's burgers? I shouldn't say that. I'm a fat ass myself.
Yeah, it's fine. I grew up fat. We get it by growing up fat and dealing with all the bullying. I feel like I have the right to make fat jokes. It's fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I grew up chunky, also. Probably like up until like 9th or 10th grade. But I grew up north, and there was always like a little. Every time I say I grew up north, and people ask me like, "Where'd you grow up?" I was like, "Iowa." It's like, that's Midwest. I was like, yeah, but literally,
but it's also north.
Literally from where we're at, it is north.
Sure. Yeah, I want. So in Iowa, what was you grew? That's where you said you grew up. Mm-hmm. What was like the worst you were like weight wise? Like what was like the fattest that you were?
You know what? I'm not sure because I never actually weighed myself. And I should know this because they would weigh us in gym class at least once a year. But I remember that I was like 190 when I was in like 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade.
Dude, when I was in 8th grade, I was almost 300 pounds, and I wore
Shut
a 44 waist.
What?
Yeah. Size 44 waist.
Almost
and
how
I was
much?
300 pounds.
300 pounds?
Yeah. That was in 8th grade.
What the hell are you eating, dude?
You know, honestly, what it was more than anything was it was soda. Like, I used to drink so much just Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew, and I know, like, people are going to come at me because of, like, there's so many other issues with the diets, but, like, legit, like, for a summer, I drank nothing but water, and the weight just melted off. Yeah. And now, when I do have soda, I drink diet soda. And I know, like, that's probably going to put holes in my brain, but, like, at least I won't be obese, so I'm good with it.
300 pounds?
300, dude. 44 waistband. Like, that's, like, we could both get in those pants together.
Jesus, Miles.
Yeah,
I mean, I can picture an adult being that much weight.
Yeah.
But it boggles my mind when it's a child, like a kid.
And I mean, I'm 5'10" now. 13? So what? 8th grade? How old are you in 8th grade? I don't even know. 8th grade,
you're like 13.
No, I think I'd be like 14 because like I'm an early birthday in the school year. I'm a birthday in September, and I got my driver's license in 10th grade. So okay. Yeah, I was probably about 14.
Okay, so.
But yeah, 13, 14, right in that area. Like that was just
Yeah, no, I can't say anything. Well, no, I can say anything to bullying because I could see how you're weight bullied. I wasn't that much weight bullying, but I was a little racial bullied. Because I'm a Mexican in
Idaho, excuse me, yeah.
Iowa.
Oh, Iowa. Excuse me. Fucking up north.
Yeah, so I mean, I got heckled a little bit for being Hispanic.
Is your how did that, like, how do you end up as a Hispanic person up in Iowa? Yeah.
Something happened and my sisters won't tell me.
Okay.
I guess it's like a taboo thing that happened in the family. But apparently it has something to do with my two younger brothers' dad, because they have a different dad than I do.
Okay.
And I have a different dad than my other siblings are older than me. I'm in a funny spot. I'm within 8 years, right in the middle, that my mom had me. I have 4 years from my younger brothers, and 4 years from my older brother.
And you're just dead in the middle.
And I'm just dead in the middle.
That's
and my
cool.
mom won't tell me what the fuck happened.
Interesting.
And they try to tell me that my dad is the same guy that's my other sibling's dad, and I'm like, I don't think so, because if she separated from my older brother's dad, that means that 4 years went by and she just thought, you know what, I'll give him another try, and then had a baby with him. No, something happened. She met somebody, and I'm also, like, I'm the tallest one in my family. I do have I have the family resemblance because my mom has very predominant genes in certain things, and we all kind of look like our mom in a way.
Sure.
So and they try to tell me, like, no, he has another kid by this lady, and the kid looks just like you. I was like, yeah, he's Mexican. I'm pretty sure I could go to Mexico and there's a ton of me over there.
It's only that I'm in Idaho is why I look like the outlier.
So something happened, and
Iowa, whatever.
and I remember when I was a kid, I remember hearing him screaming on the outside of the house, and I woke up to that, and stuff was happening. Oh, that's my friend Gio. Let me let him know real quick.
Oh, we got guests.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah.
Sit down, man. Don't be a fucking don't be an outcast. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. Yeah, just sit right
on
there.
over, dude.
Oh, do you want to grab a beer first?
Yeah, dude.
Go grab a beer first, man. This is my homie Gio.
What's up, man?
He was actually my roommate for like 8 years before I moved into this house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, fucking 8 years, man. Well, maybe 7 years, but whatever. Who cares about the semantics?
It was a minute.
Yeah, bottle opener.
Yeah.
Okay,
Somewhere.
cool. So he asked me if he can come by. Also, I don't mean to put this out there, Gio, but he's recently separating from his wife.
Actually, we're going through a divorce. So
Okay, well, okay,
ready to make it.
Okay, so so because I have a lot of love for this man. So when he's like, "Can I come hang out?" I don't want to be like, "No, I'm doing something." No, come hang out. Don't be by yourself. I know it's a hard time for you. Okay, hang out.
See a third
You know
camera,
what?
bro.
I'm gonna let the dogs inside because I
Alright.
don't like that barking. What were you talking about, though?
Honestly, I have no idea, but I'm digging the shit out of this skull book thing that you have happening right here. And I also really like dogs, so I'm probably gonna get hella distracted if they come over here.
My spells book thingy?
Yeah, this is dope.
Yeah, I bought that like a Halloween ago, and I just keep it out just because it looks cool.
Dude, Halloween is my absolute favorite. Like,
It is, right. You dress up for Six Flags.
Yeah, I'm a scare actor. I was a cannibal for Fright Fest. I've done that the last couple of years, and honestly, before that, I would build like little miniature haunted houses or walk through things in my driveway for like trick-or-treaters to come through, but I'm arguably more obsessed than I should be with Halloween, but I absolutely, like, how some people have like rooms in their house that are like Christmas, like the whole year? If I had the wealth
what do you mean the whole year?
You've never heard of it? Dude, there are people that literally have a room in their house that is Christmas the whole year. Like, it's just like the Christmas room year round. But and like honestly, if I had enough money to do so, like comedy ever, like if I get that Netflix special, I'm gonna have a fucking
room?
like Halloween room. It's just like
You should
Halloween stuff year round.
You should just keep like one of your like if you get a bigger or nice sized house, you can have like 2 living rooms technically,
Sure.
and one living room could be like a
The
Halloween.
haunted living room.
Yeah.
No, I would have like old like little animatronic stuff that would just like
Sure,
pop out
yeah.
at people and
Like,
like
you
yeah.
can walk in there and just have things pop out and scare you a little bit, or you can have the regular table.
But yeah, I love scaring. Honestly,
But I bet you
as much or more than I do making people laugh.
I bet you anything though, if you get married, she's never gonna let you do that.
I'm married, so it's
Wait, you're married?
That's the problem. Yeah.
You're married? I didn't know you're married.
I am.
What?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. It's over a decade, so it's like past that point.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
How old are you, Miles?
I'm old, bro. I'm 34.
God, man, I'm 2 years older
So-
than you, man.
You're old as shit, dude. No, honestly, you don't look it either. I get it commonly. People are always like, "You're not in your 20s," and I'm just like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
past that decade."
I think
You're 36.
I think a benefit of being chubby when you're younger, when you lose the weight as an adult, you actually look a little younger than the rest of
Maybe
the
that's it. Yeah, that's the
other
secret.
people,
Get
yeah.
fat now, kids.
Yeah, get
You'll
fat
have
now,
healthy
kids.
skin when you're older.
Yeah. Did I introduce you?
Yeah,
to
we
him?
met.
Okay, yeah, Miles Francis, comic here with comic, and also the host of his own podcast, called the Best Darn Diddly podcast or just review show.
Either, honestly.
Okay.
Best Darn Diddly is what it is on everywhere. It's bestdarndiddly.com, and all the handles are Best Darn Diddly. I don't know, honestly, I just don't know if I ever officially decided if it was just Best Darn Diddly or the Best Darn Diddly podcast or the Best Darn Diddly review show. So we'll just take them all.
We just take
It's
them
like
all?
it's like having like the .com, the .net,
Uh-huh.
and the .edu or whatever. I don't think you can get one of those unless you're an educational institution. But either way,
Yeah. What other formats are your podcasts on? Is it on?
dude, it's like everywhere.
You have a YouTube channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Fuck,
My YouTube and everything else. All my social media is Mr. Most Days Off.
Okay, I'll subscribe to your channel, man.
Yeah, I just subscribed to you actually,
thank you,
and
thank
I was figuring out what the hell I was getting myself into with this show.
Did you watch any previous episodes?
I did, dude. I'm actually I want to go back because I didn't have enough time to like give it the full attention, but I listened to the one with Ruth Banks you had recently, and then the one I would also really like to finish that just barely got started is Chris German.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love wrestling.
Oh, really?
So,
You're a wrestling
I'm
fan?
a huge wrestling fan too. Honestly, I'm just a kid, dude. I just never grew up. Like that's the truth.
Do you need any more?
I'll take a top off. Yeah, hell yeah. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Tilt it a little bit. Just a tad bit. Oh, the mic is picking up the
Yeah,
bubbly.
you get the beer flow. That's great. Oh, it's like a magic trick. Oh,
Yeah.
how did that happen? Whoa.
Whoa! It's like fucking Thor in fucking Marvel. Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Mm. But yeah. Oh, Chris Germany was awesome, man. That guy has a lot of stories about wrestling.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude.
I was a wrestling fan too back in the day, up until like the later part of the 90s, and then I started smoking weed and getting into girls, and I was just like, I don't need that anymore.
That's fair. Somewhat similar. I watched, definitely the highlight of when I watched was in the 90s. That was the prime era of wrestling for sure in my life.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I loved Bret the Hitman Hart.
hell yeah, dude.
And then
I've been encouraging Dan Danzy just to go full Bret the Hitman Hart like
Dan
look.
Danzy?
Yeah, like because he joked about buying like Bret Hart track pants and sunglasses,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, dude, if you're gonna go that far, just get the Hart Foundation leather jacket and just commit to the bit.
Yeah, man. And then I remember watching it, and the part where like he got screwed by Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I.
Or
was
according
just,
to
like, kinda
Vince,
like, what?
Bret screwed Bret, but you know.
Well, it depends. Like, okay, can you blame a guy for putting his family first?
Oh, dude, I think that's like one of the worst betrayals in wrestling. I was just being a dick.
Yeah, there's
'cause that's
actually a
what
thing
Vince
called.
said.
There's actually a thing called for it. And I was listening to a Radio Lab podcast episode about it. And let me go ahead and bring that up real quick because I think it's a very good episode for people who haven't heard the actual story. And
The
Radio
Montreal
Lab,
screw job.
Yeah, the Montreal screw
Yeah.
job. Never mind, I don't have to look it up. You brought it up.
I know a
That's
lot
what it's
about
called,
it.
the Montreal screw job. And back then I was just a young teen or mid-teen, little young teen, whatever. A tween, I guess that's what they call it now.
Yeah.
Fucking
But if
tween.
you were
I was like 13 or 14.
so I'd be like 11 or 12.
Yeah, and I was like, and when it happened, I was just like, what the hell's going on? And then later on, I realized that he was going to WCW, and there's a whole thing going on, and why he wanted to move over there, and you know he said he didn't want to betray Vince, and I'm pretty sure he sounded very genuine when he said that. And
Well, the bigger issue for him was he didn't want to drop the title in Canada, is what he claimed. So Brett declared like he was good to lose to Shawn as long as it didn't have to be in Canada. But the problem was the Survivor Series pay-per-view was on the Sunday that his contract expired. And that Survivor Series was in Montreal, Canada, right?
Yeah.
So basically, if Brett didn't lose the title that night, what Vince was worried about is the next day, Brett would be under no contractual obligation to do anything for the company because his contract would have expired.
Yeah.
So it gets really, like, you know, there's a lot that goes into that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, at the end of the day, it definitely seemed like a dick move on Vince McMahon's part, but at the same time, it, like, launched the Vince McMahon character.
That's right,
like,
it did.
That's where, like, Stone Cold got his biggest and best opponent of all time, and I mean, it's to this day debated, was Brett in on it? Was Shawn in on it? Who is in on it? And some people think Brett actually, like, it was all just a big work, and Brett knew that it was going to happen, and the spitting in the face and all of the backlash that happened afterwards was just scripted, was just what wrestling is, a performance art.
There's a term for that when you don't talk about it being...
Kayfabe?
Yeah, kayfabe.
Yeah.
How do you know all these
I
things?
love wrestling, dude. I watch a lot of wrestling.
Like how you're never supposed to go against kayfabe, or
You never
kayfabe?
break kayfabe.
You never break kayfabe.
Kayfabe is like basically the story that you keep alive. Like, there's like famous stories with Bret Hart and Owen Hart before he died. Like, there's this one story they had where those two were traveling, but they were supposed to be hating each other right now. Like, their characters hated each other.
Yeah.
But they're in an airport, and they have to act like they hate each other, but they're like, basically, they hadn't seen each other in forever, and like, they're like so excited to see each other, but because they can't break kayfabe, they're like standing in the same room pretending like they're about to fight if people aren't like pulling them apart and shit. Like, dude, there are people that have gone to jail. The Wild Samoans are a famous tag team from like 70s, 80s era, and they actually, like, their characters didn't speak English. They were wild beast men, basically. They got pulled over and they got arrested because they had like drugs and shit in the car, and they didn't speak a word. They just grunted and stayed in character the entire time they were in jail. And Vince McMahon, it's all rumor and hearsay, but allegedly Vince McMahon came and personally bailed them out and gave them a huge bonus because they like just
played
committed
it all
to their
the whole
character
thing
the whole time.
When I was listening to that, you know, I heard Brett was talking about how he wanted it to end in a disqualification, so that I see what you mean by when you said that he didn't want to lose in there. So he wanted it to be a disqualification and then give up the belt. What I was wondering is like why would Brett put so much emphasis on how the belt gets released if he's not going to be if he's not going to wrestle for them anymore? And when I was listening to it, I thought, I was like, okay, well, maybe if he loses the belt, maybe that'll bring down his his level of stardom. His value. Yeah. And then, like, WCW will be like, well, we're not going to pay you that much because he lost and you're a loser. But it didn't matter if he lost or didn't.
No, I don't think that's what it had to do on Brett's side. And again, who knows what's really the truth. But my understanding is, again, this is a different era, too. So at this time, the character that Brett was playing was a heel or a bad guy in the U.S., but he was the biggest baby face on the planet in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, when he went to Canada, he was the hero. So Brett didn't want to lose the belt as, like, the hero, as his, like, curtain call for WWF at the time. That's why he was fine losing in America, because in America, that's telling the story of the babyface Shawn Michaels conquering that dastardly foreigner, which is how wrestling
They
was
portrayed
back
him
in the
back
day. And that told the story. But if he loses in Canada, then he's the hero falling, and he didn't want that to be like his WWF legacy. Is the way that I understood it.
Okay. I don't know. Interesting.
But dude, I see, like, that's actually my favorite part of wrestling. Like, even more than watching wrestling itself, I love listening to like the stories of the like days when wrestling did have a strong sense of kayfabe, and like those road warriors that would travel the country, going from city to city, putting hundreds of their. Dude, honestly, it's very similar to comedy, like the roots of it and whatnot, in terms of like the grind and the travel and going city to city. But then there's this element of performance art even deeper in wrestling.
So many hours into how much they're on the road and whatnot.
Yeah, man. Mick Foley just recently did a comedy show at Hyenas here in Plano.
Yeah, I wanted
to meet him.
go to that, man. I really wanted to go to the. He was in Hyenas in Fort Worth. I wanted to go to that.
Oh, was he? I was in Plano when I saw him.
Okay, maybe it was just Plano then. I might have my dates wrong. I really want to go to that. I forget why I wasn't able to. I think
it was a random Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But man, I should have made time to go see that. Did you see him on stage? What's he talking about? Just stories
Dude,
about wrestling?
honestly, did you ever read his book?
Mm.
Dude, so he's got several books, but his first book, it was celebrating the 20th anniversary of his very first book, which is called Have a Nice Day.
Yeah.
And that really just tells a lot of his journey, his open mic scene, if you will, in the wrestling world, where he was doing his training and going from independent show to independent show, and just how he made it to be, as big as he got to be in the mid 90s, late 90s. And this show that he did here in Plano, it was really more a retelling of that. He even joked about the fact that he's basically telling you all stories you've already read about in this book.
Oh.
But it's different when you get to hear it live, because, I mean, obviously it's a story that you might have the idea of, but you're hearing it firsthand. And Mick Foley's very funny. He was always very funny in wrestling. I mean, when he wasn't being intentionally crazy or scary. But, when he did, like, the Dude Love character, even the Mankind character later in its run, where he became more of a comedic role. Like, did you watch during, like, the Rock and Sock Connection?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, like, the best, right? And, like, Mr. Socko, yeah, all that stuff. So, he's very funny on stage.
He seems like a really fun guy, like, just a fun guy in general.
Yeah.
Mankind was a persona, and he played it very well. But like when I was watching him, and then I saw him as Dude Love, I was just like, oh, this guy just likes to have fun.
Yeah.
Dude Love was hilarious.
And Dude Love was his original vision.
Yeah.
Like when he first got into wrestling, Dude Love was like the fictional character he kind of like created in college. And then he got to bring that back later when he had made it in his career.
That's cool. I'm glad that he was able to do something like that.
Yeah.
They didn't just leave it in the closet. There's some people who do certain acts and then they change their act and they don't go back to like their original act, which is pretty fun and kind of like the reason why they started doing anything to begin with. And they just like forget about where they came from, almost in a sense. So to see him like want to do that, and then he also did Cactus Jack, which was like the hardcore I'll do anything.
Dude, that's the role that really made him. I mean, yeah, that's where he was traveling and making a name for himself. But Mankind was when he signed with WWF.
Mankind was like he was meant to be the bad guy. You're not supposed to root for him.
Right.
But he was fucking cool, man.
He got real cool. Dude, he was in a ravioli commercial or a SpaghettiOs commercial or whatever. It was like, beefy.
Mankind,
yes.
With that
Look,
mask,
it's on YouTube.
that halfway mask, fucking.
It's on YouTube to this
Phantom
day.
of the Opera style.
Yeah, he's wearing he's wearing like the button-down white shirt. Like he looks like he could have been at an office job, but he's got the brown sweatpants. And like I haven't seen this commercial in a long ass time, but it came out in like 1999. But he's just sitting in like a park with a can of like ravioli, and he takes a bite, and he's like, beefy.
That's a guy I want to see eating.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a guy I want to see eating, man.
Selling SpaghettiOs though, dude.
Oh man. You know what? We probably gone maybe halfway. Let's go ahead and do this little quick review.
All right.
And then we'll enjoy this CBD.
Yeah, I was about to say, are we reviewing the CBD grass, or are we reviewing the papers?
No, just the papers,
Just the
and how we
papers.
like it, whether it tastes different or not.
I was about to get real snooty on you. That's right.
And this is, like I said, it's Tasty Puff, Tasty Tips. You get 3 for a pack. I don't know how much they were because she gave this to me for free. Because
If you run your own podcast and you're willing to have them as a sponsor, they're free.
Where's the lighter? Anybody got a lighter?
I think I do have a lighter.
Oh yeah, I don't have one on me.
Oh, look at that. Nice, brother. Better out than in.
Excuse me. Sorry.
What are those, cones or those rolling papers?
No, they're the cones. They're the cones. Once again, that's from Hempies. Thank you guys. And I just got them as a sponsor. I haven't created a read for them yet. I'm gonna do that myself, and I'm talking to them, see if they approve of the read. I was supposed to wear the shirt that they gave me, but I actually wore that for the open mic on Thursday. So
It counts.
sorry for me not having it on. I said I was gonna wear
What
it.
mic was it at?
Hyenas and Fort
Oh,
Worth.
dude, that's big exposure for Hempies. They're probably really happy with that.
I got a lot of compliments on the shirt.
Yeah.
That's a cool shirt.
Hempies is a good name for a head shop, dude.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I want to shop at a place called Hempies.
And they're constantly like doing these little like block party type things.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Little
I'm
pop-up sales.
gonna enjoy having them as a sponsor, and I hope we go for a while, you know, because I mean I shop there anyway for stuff, and they want me to try stuff out, and this is the first product I'm trying out.
Very
But
cool.
I will say, okay, it is. I know it's a small container, but it is hard to stuff this if you don't have something on handy. So I mean, that's. I hope they're okay with constructive criticism.
I mean,
Because
honestly,
she told me like critique their stuff, but like, what if it's a
if
shitty
it's
thing?
dog shit, yeah.
Yeah. Are they okay with me saying that?
I mean,
Be
just
like,
say
okay,
it's
well,
dog shit in a really nice way.
I guess so. But I guess that would help them out, because then like, well, why are we gonna spend our money on this stuff and restocking it if these people tested it and didn't like it?
I think being honest is going to be your best bet.
I'm gonna have to be honest. I can't lie.
It's the opposite of comedy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So let me go ahead and spark this up real quick. You can talk about anything you want right now. Well, here, let me say something.
Okay.
You've been doing comedy for almost
8 months.
a year, 8 months. Tell us about one of your more funner or wilder shows that you've done.
Dude, actually, last night was a real cool show. I got to do, where the hell was I? It was Rowlett, so it was a bit of a drive, but I posted about it. The stage there was huge, man. Like, it looked like it could have been like a place where you could easily film a comedy special, because you look and it's just got like the one mic stand. You're dying. You want a cough drop? Here, I'll trade you. Here, take that if you want it.
Oh my goodness.
It might help.
Where's my ashtray? Holy shit. Oh wow. Hi, guys. Thank you. Why do you just randomly keep cough drops in your pocket?
I do. It's because I smoke a lot, and sometimes I have to go on stage or like podcasts or whatever. I'm trying not to do it you right now. Honestly, like, you know, I don't get paid for that shit, but that's a good paper right there, man.
Oh yeah? You like, where's the fucking ashtray?
But yeah, dude, last night I'm in this random stage. I drive all the way out in the middle of nowhere thinking like it's gonna just be some like small bar show.
Yeah.
And dude, it was a crazy ass stage. Like it was huge and like well lit, big old curtain. Like it made me feel like I even made a post about it. It's like I get to pretend like I'm a big deal tonight because that's how the stage felt. I did learn last night though, if you're the first comic on at a show with an open bar, that shit's dangerous, dude. Because like if you're late, you have to like at least stay like, you know, sober enough to remember to say your jokes.
Hmm.
But if you're the first comic on, it's a free for all at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
What do I have to worry about?
Yeah, that's true, man.
It was my first clean show last night. Actually, that was interesting.
Did you have to be clean, or did you
Yeah,
trust him?
yeah. It was. They didn't want anything too raunchy. And then a lot of my jokes are about weed, and I was just challenging myself last night to do no weed jokes just for a personal challenge. And I did 9.5 minutes clean without my A material, which felt really nice.
Huh. That's interesting. I haven't had the opportunity. I haven't had the. Not I wouldn't say opportunity, but I haven't had the. I guess situation. I haven't been in that situation yet.
A clean show?
Yeah. And
I mean, I don't. Honestly, I wouldn't seek them out, but it's nice to be able to do it. It's hard, honestly. I did stumble a few places yesterday because, you know how when you're told not to say something, that's the only word. So literally the entire time I'm telling my sets don't say fuck, don't say fuck, don't say fuck, don't say fuck, So,
huh?
It's a challenge.
I've been told that I should do it, and I would do it too. I mean, but I just.
Have you ever done Backdoor? The open mic at Backdoor?
No, I've never done back door.
It's only 3 minutes, but it's a 3-minute clean mic. And then there was the week randomly that the Strokers tried to be clean, but that's a fucking redneck biker bar, so that only lasted a week.
Any more of that? That's almost to
One
the
more
end.
time? Yeah, we're not done yet.
I would say about this paper though. You have to hit it slow because it goes right through.
It's pretty fast burning.
Yeah. I think
I do like the
I don't-
cardboard, this,
I don't know. Yeah, I like the filter. I don't know if I need to pack it more, or it's just fast burning because it's when you smoke a blunt, a regular one. By the time when you start getting about halfway through, it starts getting mushed together, kind of sometimes.
Mhm.
Especially you have somebody like Ferris Tamim,
get all fucking
who
wet.
fucking gets it all wet.
Is Ferris get it all wet?
He's
I don't
fucking
know.
known for that.
Oh, man.
You know what he told me? We're over here. We're fucking tripping balls.
Oh,
First
I
of
love that
all,
shit.
We're on LSD.
I love LSD, dude. That and shrooms are my favorite, honestly. They're both
You
great.
think you get one more hit out of that? Or are you cool?
Yeah, dude. I don't want to let go to waste. I mean, we gotta give a full review.
Alright, good to go. See, I've never done these before, so I don't know how far you're supposed to smoke them, but it looks like it's
When the cardboard catches on fire, you've gone too far.
Yeah, I feel like that's not that.
I don't know. I think I like those raw ones better. Is that what you got over there?
No, these are,
No, I mean, these are the same ones?
no, those, yeah, they're the same one as
Oh,
these.
okay.
The raw, do they have a different flavor or what?
No, but they burn a little slower.
A little
It's-
slower?
The consistency, I'll say, on this was good. There's nothing worse than when it gets the runner.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And,
Well, that's why I was doing the saliva
yeah.
thing, but yeah, that
You did the saliva thing right now?
well, on the second and last pass, yeah, I did it around the
Oh, okay.
I didn't
cherry.
even notice.
I didn't even know this either.
Yeah.
You know what I hate though? Hold on real quick. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. You know what I hate? I hate a person who doesn't fucking do that and just lets it keep running.
Right?
It's like, fucking do something about it, man.
Yeah, you've
Fuck-
seen the problem, now fix it. Yeah.
Mhm. Obviously, you see that it's running. Fucking do something about it and then pass it. Don't fucking pass it to the next guy. Make him fix it for you. Shit, man. I hate people who do that.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Guess
It happens
anyway.
a lot when people are really drunk. They'll hit it so hard, and then the fucking stick literally burn the entire strip down.
Yeah.
Shit.
I
What the
guess
fuck?
I don't know that one because I put a pretty good effort on not to get drunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is true. You're drinking now. I haven't seen you drinking since I've known you.
Not since you've known
Well,
me.
okay, not since I've known you. Since I lived. Since I first moved.
No, I stopped drinking for 7 years.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Damn.
then I started drinking again when I started doing comedy.
Nice.
And but I put a lot of emphasis on not to have more than 3 drinks.
Okay. You just don't like the feeling of being gone.
I don't like the feeling of not being I don't like that feeling to where I have to concentrate with what I'm doing. I have to concentrate on walking. No.
I enjoy having a drink, but dude, honestly, like, hands down, not even like a debate about it. Like, out of all the drugs I do, alcohol would be the first one I'd give up. It's probably the worst for me,
Yeah.
and it gives me the least, like, fun, like, effects.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think I'll have 4 drinks, but that's only if I'm on ecstasy.
Okay.
If I'm on ecstasy,
You gotta have that fourth?
well, I don't feel the alcohol.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I already
fair.
already know that if I'm on X, yeah, I would have to have quite a bit to get drunk because ecstasy's more stronger than beer. So as long as I'm not doing like 20 shots, and then while I'm on that X, which I'm never gonna do, which nobody really does, I'm not gonna really get drunk, so I don't mind having a 4th one.
Honestly, you mentioned earlier, but like I love LSD and shrooms. Like, that's where it's at. Honestly, like that's.
Hold on, wait! You had to bring it back. You're like, wait. I know I said it earlier. I know
you said it earlier.
No, but I heard you say you love LSD. And
Dude,
then,
well, that we got back on the top. I wanted
But
to make
you-
sure we gave it its due love. It's
wants
the
some
fucking
LSD
best,
on.
man. No, dude, like honestly, like over everything, though. Like I mean, like those that to me is like actually like you have a lot of fun as long as you don't go stupid crazy with how much you take. You're gonna have a swell time, and then like you feel fine the next day.
do you have a LSD story?
Before you do that, you ever get the flashbacks?
No,
Not really, no.
Because I think the day that I pretty much decided to leave my household, I came here and I did the acid.
Yeah, he tripped balls with me.
Nice.
And it's the first time in a while, but
Yeah, man, you're tripping pretty good.
I don't. But it was a good experience, right? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was fun. But like the funny thing is, like he was on like I was in the middle seat right there for like an hour and a half, just like this with his coat on. You're like, I'd be like, Gio, are you okay? Yeah. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm like,
As long as I got my hoodie.
alright. I was just like, okay, well, me, yeah, as long as you're cool. Me and another friend, but the Jonathan who was here, and me and him were just like bullshit and laughing back and forth and whatnot.
You know what? I don't actually have like a crazy LSD. I've always had great times on LSD, but I do have a crazy mushroom story.
Let's hear it. What's
Which
it?
is weird, I know, of the two. But I've actually found mushrooms to be stronger, but I've also taken larger doses of them.
Yeah.
But one time I decided, first mistake was I decided to do some shrooms with this dude that I really didn't know.
Oh.
So, like, we were casual friends, but, like, we really weren't, like, connected on a level to go into these, like, deep, like, parts of our minds together.
Yeah.
And also I decided to take a 1/4 ounce.
What the fuck, dude?
And then, also, of that 1/4 ounce, half of it was ground up into capsules. So it
Good
wasn't like
God.
eating shrooms, it was like powdered capsules. And usually when you take shrooms, like, there's like an hour or so that it, like, takes to kick
So
in.
you had 7 grams.
7 grams.
7 grams
At
of
once,
shrooms.
yes.
What? Okay. Let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking I want to have a crazy time.
Okay.
And I was thinking I had a really good time with 1 when it started, and then I had a lot of really good times with 3.5. Let's put those together.
So you're just like,
We're gonna do this.
Oh, you know what? I love that. I love to hear that about somebody when they're like, that was fun. Let's do some
Dude,
more.
and so here's
next time.
the kicker too on this story. I said it's like a bad trip, but like honestly, at the time it was terrifying.
Uh-huh.
But now I think about it as a positive experience. I learned so much that night. But the big kicker was the capsules.
Uh-huh.
Because there was no period of, like, usually it takes like an hour or so and you're just kind of waiting for the trip to start.
Yeah.
Like, I popped these capsules and a couple minutes later, I was holding onto a chair and I felt like I was rocketing into outer space. Like, and I mean, I was legit holding on for dear life, just like, oh god.
But those little capsules, it's just grounded up shrooms, right?
Yeah, but it's powdered, and I mean, like, essentially, it just hit, like, super fast. Or, maybe my concept of time was completely out of the window as well.
No, I mean, I think if it hit you that quick, you wouldn't even notice the time. But like, but I know what you mean. Like where you take some and you're like waiting, you're like, oh, let's go.
But like, so it gets really bad because I'm out of my mind. This dude that I'm with decides that they're gonna just randomly invite some friends over. So within a few moments, I'm tripping balls, and I have a lot of people I don't know around me, and it's not going well at all. I actually like completely lose it to the point where there was a point where I honestly like thought that I broke my brain, like, and I thought I was like gonna be living in this state forever, like, and it was very much like the movie Get Out when they're in like the like hypnotism. Oh, dude, you should see that movie. But like that's how like I was vaguely aware that like I still had a human body, but like I couldn't get to it or operate it. So, like, like that wasn't an option.
So
and,
what like physically what were you doing physically? Like just rolled up in a bar or something?
Dude, I don't really know. Like I was physically like not of my like physical body. Like I was astroplaning like a motherfucker. But like every human I interacted with, like bringing it back to The Simpsons, like I always do. But you know that episode of The Simpsons where Homer eats the insanity pepper?
Yeah.
And he goes on like the mystical journey.
Yeah.
And then there's the point at the top of the pyramid where he's trying to get Marge's attention, and every time he turns her around, it's just always the back of her head, and he can't like. That was like what happened with other humans. So I couldn't have like no one had a face, which was rough. And then speaking of rough, and your dog right here, hey baby. Oh, hi. You want to say hello to me? So, speaking of dogs, I have 2 dogs. At the time, I only had 1 dog. And that dog's got a set on him for what it's worth. But dude, my dog in my mind was a thestral from Harry Potter. If you're familiar with Harry Potter, those are the horse things that you can only see if you've seen someone that's been dead.
Oh yeah, the
like scaly horses.
Yeah, like he can they're all weird looking.
My dog had demon eyes, he had black scales, and he had wings. And I knew it was my dog. Like internally, I knew it was my dog. But like when I looked at him, scary demon monster. It was.
Dude, do you have a bit about it?
I don't yet. It needs to happen. It's in my book. I just haven't taken it to the stage yet. I've got a lot of stuff in my book that hasn't gotten to the stage
Okay,
yet.
but as long as you're planning to do it, that's
it will be done, yeah.
Cool. Good God, man.
Dude, and that story ends a little rough because that dude that took pictures with me that started the whole thing. He had promised like he was gonna crash at the house, but at some point in the middle of the night, he just decided he was gonna drive home. He made it a block away from my house, and he got to a stop sign and apparently passed out. And some stranger who pulled up behind him had the kindness, like, or stupidity, either way you want to argue it, but some stranger pulled up behind him, found their cell phone, saw that we were the last person to text, called me, and was like, hey, your friend's, like, right here, like, you want to come help him. And I'm in no business, you know, but I get my dog, and I was at least going to go try to, like, help him pull his car over the side of the street and, like, walk him back to the house.
Yeah.
Well, like, as soon I get my dog because it's 2-something in the morning, and I'm like, well, I have to have an excuse to be walking around the streets.
Your demon dog for protection.
My demon dog for protection, yeah, and for what it's worth, still a thestral. I have him on a leash, still a thestral. But unfortunately, like right when I got to the corner, cherries and berries show up, and I'm just like, whoop, other way.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy, you made bad choices.
Damn. Did you ever talk to him afterwards?
Yeah, we talked.
Okay.
We weren't really friends anymore afterwards, but like I mean, like we didn't hate each other or anything.
How much shrooms was he on?
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. I don't think he had 7. I think he might have done an 8.
That's still a pretty good amount, but it wouldn't be that crazy.
The 8th is the right amount for what it's worth. If you're ever asking yourself, like, I want to have a really hard trip, what's the right amount? An 8th is the hard limit. Don't go more than an 8th. It's a bad idea. unless you're prepared for it.
Okay, yeah.
You disagree?
No, I'm not gonna disagree with that. But I want to try. I want to try something else first, and then I'll go back to an 8.
Sure.
I recently did 3 hits of acid. During the Rick and Morty, the first
premiere?
episode, yeah, the premiere.
Nice.
And oh my god,
3 is a lot, bro.
I was fucking tripping hard.
Yeah.
And it did not take that long for me to trip hard. Ferris was here.
Nice.
So if you want to talk to
ask
Ferris
about
it, he was here and he tripped balls too.
Nice.
I was tripping balls so bad. Like when the episode first came on, I don't even know really I don't know how to explain it. It's just like fucking.
Next
crazy.
time we'll have to. I'm down to come here. You come out my way, but we should trip together. We'll have a good time.
Oh, I love to trip with you, man. I always have a good time.
I love tripping with comedians because I always end up writing at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we start riffing off each other and you get the stupidest ideas, but then you know some of them end up funny.
But like I was tripping so hard like I couldn't communicate. That was the problem.
Yeah, three's a lot, bro.
I was trying to talk, and I just wasn't making sentences. And I walked outside with Ferris because he wanted to go have a cigarette, and I was like, I'll go outside. And as soon as I got out there, everything like I couldn't see anything. Like for some reason, everything was black, and I could kind of see him. And but to me, in my eyes, he was like standing, kind of like leaned back.
Like gravity wasn't working.
Yeah, and he looked like, but I could just see the silhouette of him because everything was so dark. But that's what I felt like I was seeing him, like all like, whoop, and talking to me, and I was just like, I can't see shit. And then he would smile, and then I could see his teeth because I have a black light bulb out there.
Nice.
So I would see the teeth, and they just kind of be like, they look like they were just floating without anything behind it. And I was tripping so fucking hard. And I finally had to feel like I gotta go inside. I can't.
This is too much.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Oh,
and there's,
man.
I mean, like, you're outside. I love being outside when you're tripping. If you're in the right mood for it, it's fun. But yeah, if things are starting to get intense, you want the, like, comfy space you're used to. Or
Yeah.
your hoodie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I know what you're talking about. I was out there that weekend smoking my cigarettes. You know, like, so I know what you mean. Like, yeah, it was fucking shit dark out there when I went out there on the acid.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know why. I just couldn't see anything.
My spatial awareness was like everything was far away. Like the
Yeah.
house, the yard looked bigger than it really is. The block looked further. I went out to the car to grab something at some point.
And you just keep, like, it's like on a conveyor belt.
Yeah. And then I kept hearing like I felt like somebody was watching me because there was like doors closing all around.
Oh God. Paranoid.
I wish I would have done more because I just kind of just sat there. But
like more like active. Like do stuff.
But you know, when I left, it was about 5 in the morning. You know, it was about 4:35 in the morning when I thought I was okay to drive finally. Because I've been up the whole time. And so, you know, I get to the car and I start driving and right away I could tell I wasn't okay to drive.
Oh man.
But I think I was like, all right, let me see how far I can get and just park somewhere and then just take a nap or something. But everything was really far away. It was like, you know, from no matter what, the light, you know, if I was maybe... I
kind of like stretched out, like
yes.
you're wearing a fisheye lens or
yes,
something?
the opposite of a fisheye. Look, yeah. It was that. And so it was funny because I would see cars coming up, but they were coming up forever, like... God damn it, man! Get out of the way! I'm trying to light this joint. And then I would see cars behind me, and I was like, I was looking at the speedometer. Okay, I'm going 40. I'm okay. And then the car's behind me, and he's like, way the fuck back there. But then I turn and look out the window, and he's like 10 feet behind me. I'm like, son of a bitch. But luckily I made it home. It was crazy. I've never.
You know, when you first got up and went to use the restroom, you were like wobbling, and like I was like, hey Gio, how are you doing? And like you stop, you grab a hold of the door, and you're like this, like, yeah, all right. And then you walk into the bathroom, I'm like damn, he's fucked up, man. He can barely walk straight.
Yeah, that was about 10. I was about 10 when I first really thought about driving because it wasn't kicking in yet. Yeah. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm fucked. I went to the bathroom, I took a piss, I looked at myself in the mirror, I was like, I ain't going nowhere.
One of the weird things that happened to me, aside from when the giant Rick's head exploded. Okay. That looked insane to me.
Did it kick in that quick? Oh, so you took it before the premiere, so that it was kicking in during the premiere? Like, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I had
you were tripping already when the show started.
I already had it. I had it on the PS already, so gotcha. I was like, okay, Ferris got here. I'm okay. We're gonna take it right now, and then we're gonna hit play in a little bit. So
Yeah, wait till it starts to.
Yeah, we took it, and I think we probably maybe like 20, 25 minutes, if that. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and kick it off. And Ferris would have to be here to remind me because he only took 2 hits. He still tripped pretty damn hard.
2's a good, like, I feel like 1 is the right number for going out on acid, and 2 is the right number for, like, having a good time on acid, and then anything more than that is, like, play at your own risk.
Dude, I really gotta pee real quick, but I have some more.
So you were here the night that he did 3?
No. I was supposed to be, but I ended up getting tied up in my, I guess you would say my guitarist, since I started to get back into music.
Are you in a band?
We're just talking about it right now. You know, it's something I didn't really have time for when I was trying to be super husband or whatever. But now that parted ways, trying to fill my schedule, I guess.
Nice.
And I guess I kind of missed the stage. You know.
Sure.
I used to play drums. We played a couple of shows. Well, we played a good amount of venues for a couple of years, but.
Have you ever seen the staple or the cliche that it's a comedian opens for a band? Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of that, Rudy? Or a comedian opening for a band?
Yeah.
That used to be a thing back in the day, right?
Yeah, there was actually one not too long ago.
That's what I was gonna ask. Have you ever seen that in real life?
No, I haven't been there to see it. No, I wanted to go to it, but it was gonna cost too much. It was okay. It's funny. It's a funny story. You know the guy who owns the Cowboy Stadium?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones put together this thing, last summer, the summer before. I think it was last summer, and it was supposed to be Demetrius Johnson, the comic.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who else. It's supposed to be a 2-day thing, 2-day festival. And the tickets were $80. And there was rock bands. God damn, I wish I could just Google it real quick. But
that were an option.
But I mean, I could, but God damn it, this is why I need my assistant. She's not very. She doesn't do that part very well yet. She's supposed to sit here. Okay, I told.
She's supposed to sit here and listen to our boring ass conversation.
Yes. I told her before that once I get the projector up here, she's gonna sit there and she's gonna type for me whenever I need somebody to look something up.
So that you can actually have the Google results right here. That's actually a really cool idea.
I already have the projector. I just need the screen.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna spend.
Just flip your what is this? New York?
San Francisco, I think.
That's not San Francisco, is it?
No, I don't know.
No, that's not.
That's the Brooklyn or something.
That's Brooklyn, bro.
Okay.
That's the Brooklyn Bridge.
I don't know, dude.
This isn't your living room, dude.
It doesn't say anything.
Flip that motherfucker upside down or inside out or whatever. It's white on the back. There you got a projector screen.
I'm gonna get a rotor one.
I got
because it actually has a material. Shut up, man. It has a sparkly material on it that deflects light better.
Sure.
Don't fucking make me seem like I'm a douchey, prissy bitch.
Yeah, you say.
Anyway, shit. Anyway, yeah. So she's gonna do that. I told her she has to once I get that, and I just need to pay for the screen. But shit, what was I saying before that? Something to Google.
You were gonna Google the lineup of the venue.
Yeah. So that venue right there, but what's funny is that because I think it was raining. It was raining and the weather wasn't that good. But he lost so much money on that because it holds thousands of people. And I think there's only 5,000 or something like that. They said
that building holds at least 100,000 people.
And
because WrestleMania 30, I was at WrestleMania 34 there, and that was the attendance record.
Yeah. Were you there for that?
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude.
God damn, you got stories. We're gonna do another podcast.
I went to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, and then 32 was here in Dallas.
Fuck.
It was fun, man.
How wild are those?
Dude, the weekend I went to New Orleans for WrestleMania is one of the best getaways I've ever had, because the whole city just embraced wrestling fandom. And literally every bar, every shop was selling bootleg wrestling shit.
What?
Every bar had a WrestleMania shot special, or food special or whatever. Like the whole city was just like in it, and like also, have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have, but I was just there for like a quick.
The thing about it, the only reason I asked is because much better than Dallas, the city is laid out for walking. Like you can park and you can literally just walk everywhere, or maybe if they have the scooters or whatever. But like you don't have to drive anywhere once you're in the city. And like Dallas is just so much more spread out. So like the event itself in Dallas was okay. It wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
The way the city embraced it was a lot weaker, but like WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans was one of the best experiences of my life.
That sounds cool. Did anything like wild happen, or just a great event?
In terms of like wrestling storyline goes, that was the event where the Undertaker's streak ended.
No shit, you were there for that one?
I was there for that, yeah. Yeah, I was there for the end of the streak. Honestly, I still don't know to this day. I feel like it was a bad choice, but like they felt like it had to happen eventually, and they wanted to give Brock the push, which is like Brock Lesnar didn't need to be the one to do that, honestly. Yeah. I felt like this is like an old, like, this is me nerding out hard right here, but like me like fantasy booking in my head back in the day of like how I would have liked to see it happen is I would have actually liked to see before Roman Reigns like got super unpopular and was getting booed everywhere. He was relatively popular. I would have loved to see at like WrestleMania 30 they had this big build up between Roman Reigns and the Undertaker. And you could argue that Roman Reigns kind of has a Undertaker look about him. He's got he's a big dude, long dark hair.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see him do like throwback to like the old days when they'd have a lot more magic and mysticism in wrestling.
Uh-huh.
And I would have loved to see they have this blood feud of a match. Kick out after kick out after kick out on Roman Reigns' part. He takes the choke slam. He takes the old school. He takes the last ride. He takes the tombstone, and he just keeps getting up. And then finally, when Roman Reigns hits his spear and his punch, and he puts Undertaker away for 1, 2, 3, the lights go black. The lightning strikes the ring, and then when the lights come back on, Roman Reigns is sitting there with the robe, with the hat, with the gloves. And Roman Reigns is the new Undertaker.
That would have been kind of cool. And then okay. Did he retire after that, Undertaker?
No, sadly he should have, but unfortunately no. He's been back several times. He's actually done like a pseudo retirement where like he like left all of his stuff in the ring and left, and then has been back since then too. Partially because of the Saudi Arabia stuff that they're doing, which is kind of shitty. But
what? They're doing Saudi Arabia?
Have you not heard about this? No, dude. Like
I haven't watched wrestling.
That's fair. So
recently, since like maybe since like I said, it's like
Saudi Arabia right now has this thing that they're trying to like spin their country as more like not a shitty like awful place that murders people and whatnot, and it's like called like Project 2030 or something like that, and essentially they're trying to like make all these deals to like bring like sporting events and other things. And reports have it they've paid Vince McMahon a shit ton of money to bring wrestling events over there, and they've done like 3 or 4 of them at this point.
Yeah. But
they've been really controversial because like legitimately in the build up to like the first or second show, I can't remember which one, was when like the dude was decapitated at the embassy over there, and like it's just like you're clearly, I mean, it's basically kind of like the Epstein didn't kill himself, but of like back then, it's like clearly that was the Saudi Arabian government, like, you know, doing a hit on this guy. It wasn't just like his head didn't just fall off on accident. Like, somebody did that to the man. And so, like, they got a lot of heat because they were agreeing to do these shows over there. And then plus, the nation's very, very bad for women. I mean, like, they treat women very, very poorly over there. And in fact, it was only recently that women were allowed to be shown on their events at all, and they had to wear, like, full bodysuits.
No, okay. Let me think about this. And the controversy, I understand why there'd be controversy, okay? But here's the thing, they're like a play. They're like a live play.
Oh, yeah,
like
a circus.
Play. They're like a play, yeah. I don't see the problem with them going over there just to do a play.
That's fair.
It's not like they're
I mean, honestly, I don't have a strong opinion on it either way. The controversy comes from the fact, though, that it's actually the royal family of Saudi Arabia, like the prince or whatever the hell it is actually the one like writing the checks to like bring them over.
So. I mean, I don't see a problem with that. I mean,
you're clearly a capitalist, sir.
Well, I'm not. Look, here's the thing.
I wasn't me talking shit,
here's
bro.
The thing.
I don't care.
It's not like they're changing the ideals of Vince McMahon or the wrestling federation. What entertainment?
WWE. World Wrestling.
It's not like they're changing the value of them. Like they're not gonna start treating women like that or whatever.
Or decapitating people.
Yeah, or decapitating. they're just a play, and they're just there to fucking entertain for them, and then get the fuck out when you're done.
Mean, no, I feel that. That's actually funny you say that, because there's the last time they went, they've done this like 3 or 4 times now, and the last time they went, they actually got stuck there, and there's all these rumors. No one really knows 100% what happened, but there's rumors that Saudi Arabia didn't pay Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon got like super pissed and like got in their face and like, God damn it, I want my money before we have this event, and they got into a fight, and whenever it was time for everybody to leave, their plane had mechanical issues. And they were stuck on the tarmac for like hours and hours and hours. And Vince like pieced out on a private jet and just like left everybody there.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Nah, they'll get here when they get here.
Yeah. Like they actually, so it's funny because they actually were supposed to be a lot of the people that were stuck were supposed to be back to do a show, a live show of SmackDown, which is on Friday nights, and they ended up not being able to do it.
How freaked out would you be if you're one of those wrestlers and you're standing there and you're watching Vince McMahon, your boss, talk shit to people who can fucking have you killed, and yeah, maybe they'll go to war with America because of all the Americans they killed, but you still be dead.
Oh yeah, dude,
and
they could have been so fucked.
They're probably like, fucking Vince, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is insane. That is crazy, man.
Yeah, dude, it's and Vince McMahon is just known for being such an egomaniac. You can totally believe that he would get in the face of like a Saudi prince,
and especially since he's been on steroids.
Right.
Do you remember that when he was small and out of nowhere he's just like,
of
pow! What the hell happened?
I'm sure he was just
like
Hulk Hogan said, saying his prayers and eating his cereal.
But he was like, I didn't see the transformation at all. Like I didn't notice. They hit it very well.
Yeah.
Because he was super skinny and super small.
And then he got stacked.
And then out of nowhere, they take off his shirt and he's like, yeah. And people were like, what?
Well, they did that during, like, when we were talking earlier about, like, the fight between Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, like, the famous feud. There's a few matches they had, and Vince showed up, and he's ripped as fuck. And you're just like, dude, you're like 60. What the hell?
Yeah, man, that was crazy. So yeah, I totally picture Vince doing that. I'm pretty sure he.
It's not hard to believe, honestly.
He probably said, yeah, probably. I don't know what he would say, but he probably. I'm pretty sure that happened. I want there to be an article, like in a couple of years, one of the wrestlers is starting to retire, or whatever, and just be an article like the time Vince McMahon yelled at the Saudi. Yeah, that
they're making a movie about Vince McMahon right now, like a Hollywood film.
You think? Oh, but it's Hollywood.
Yeah, it's gonna be a biopic. It's not gonna be a biography.
Well, I mean,
maybe they'll do a biography when he dies.
Okay, I want to wait for the real one. This was cool for entertainment, That's what it's gonna be.
No, I want like the inside scoop. I want the dirty details.
I want the dirty inside scoop. The guy who says I'm gonna put this out there and I'm not gonna change anything.
Right.
Who cares if I get
uncensored?
Bored? Yeah.
Unfiltered.
But like, is it kind of gonna be like what's that movie with what's his face? The singer that's gay.
Elton John?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Elton John.
I would imagine so. Yeah, it's still in early production, but
I mean, without the musical part.
Yeah, totally.
Huh? Yeah, okay. I like Elton John. Did you watch that movie?
I haven't seen that movie. I like Elton John, and I do want to see that movie. But I like it. Haven't seen it.
You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to watch that on edibles.
I also felt like that would be a good
What?
Well, because it has like all the musical portions of it, but like there is the side of it though that I'm sure it's going to address some of the hardships that he had to deal with being a homosexual at a time that was not like okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to
Did
watch
we
that
just become
one.
best friends? I know you know what that's from.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Come on now.
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step Brothers.
Love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's fucking amazing.
It's okay that your Chewbacca mask is a nicer quality than mine.
Yeah. Oh, it's like it's not. Is it movie quality or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But. Not but shit. Fuck. Okay, let me ask you a movie. Let me see if you've seen this movie. Have you seen the Dewey Cox story?
Yeah. Walk Hard.
Walk Hard. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the fucking name of it. Walk Hard. You've seen it?
Hell yeah, I've seen
What do you
that
think
movie.
of it?
Honestly, it's been so long since I've seen that one, but like that one came out at a time when that was kind of the cookie cutter film.
Yeah.
Was to like take either is it Riley Scott? No, Riley. What's the actor in that? John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly and Will Smith were just. I mean, they did Talladega Nights right at that time. That was when Blades of Glory came out. Like, that was when Semi-Pro came out. Like, there was like this.
Semi-Pro was hilarious. Blades of Glory had its moments, but it wasn't that great.
Oh, see, I would rank Blades of Glory over Semi-Pro. Personally.
What?
Yeah, honestly.
Over Semi-Pro?
I would put Talladega Nights. And then probably Blades of Glory, and then Walk Hard, and then Semi-Pro. Honestly, but I like all of those movies. It's just that you gotta pick and choose your favorites. Right?
That is true. I don't know. But see, if I had to pick my favorites, it'd be really hard because I have a lot of favorites.
Well, I mean, like those are just I'm just talking about like specifically like that was the time where it was like okay, the entire pitch for this movie was John C. Reilly is a folk singer. Or is basically Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
They're just spoofing Walk the Line, which was a very popular movie that came out. But like literally the entire pitch for Talladega Night, like they talk about like this is like on like the DVD commentary.
Yeah.
They literally just pitched the movie. Will Ferrell is a NASCAR driver.
Is a what? NASCAR
Will
driver?
Ferrell is a NASCAR driver.
So
and they're like, yeah, you can have like however many $1 million you need to make that.
So in other words, it's more authentic because it's not following another movie's. It's more original, I guess.
I see, and like, if anything, I almost felt like those films became too similar to one another. Like originally it was I think like a fun, fresh idea, but then it's just like okay, we want to milk this thing for all it's worth. It was kind of like when the spoof movies became really popular, and there was like epic movie. Well, Scary Movie was great. Like let me say, Scary Movie was fantastic.
Don't talk shit about Scary Movie.
Not talking shit about Scary Movie. But that happened, 1 and 2, exactly. But those happened, like, a long time before, like, the breakout epidemic. And then, like you mentioned, like, when they got to, like, Scary Movie 4, 5, and 6, like, those were terrible.
3, 4, 5.
Then you got Epic Movie, Hero Movie, Meet the Kardashians.
Horrible.
Like, like, all those films that were just junk. And there was just pop culture reference after pop culture reference after pop culture reference. Like, back when it was Walk the Line, or Walk Hard, excuse me, it was that was very much a big pop culture reference, but they still wrote jokes. Like, they still made an effort.
I thought Walk Hard is very funny, and even though, this following is kind of, it is a spoof, it is a really well-written spoof.
100%.
And the jokes in it are just...
Yeah, they actually wrote jokes. That's what I mean. Like, it's... When you get to those later spoof movies, it's literally like, we're showing a thing that references a thing you've seen, but there's no joke there. It's just like we all know what like Britney Spears is.
It's like they're just trying to imitate it and make a bad imitation of it. It's like they're not really trying. But Walk Hard was to me like had very good lines that
I'm genuinely curious how many of your listeners have even heard of Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
You know what? Let's dig a little deeper into the epic. Not epic, but the kind of movies that these are, because these are total guy movies. They're total guy movies. And they're total stoner movies.
Yeah, big time.
Strange Wilderness.
I don't know that one.
You don't know Strange Wilderness? I went a little deeper for you.
Zahn? Something Zahn?
Strange Wilderness had...
Steve Zahn?
Do you know Grandma's Boy?
Literally, the next question I was planning on asking you was going to be, what is your favorite stoner movie of all time?
Yeah.
And mine is going to be a tie between Grandma's Boy and Evil Bong.
I haven't seen Evil Bong.
Evil Bong's a deep cut. No one's seen
What's
Evil
Evil
Bong.
Bong?
Evil Bong is a Charles Band film. Are you familiar with him at all? Are you into horror movies at all? Did we talk about this?
I mean, I am, but I don't know their names per se.
So Charles Band is mostly known for making really, really B-movie horror movies. Most famous is probably Puppet Master.
I love the Puppet Master movies.
Yeah, so the little dolls that steal. That's a Charles Band film. That's his highest budget film. Everything else is work. One of his films is called The Ginger Dead Man. And it's about a gingerbread cookie that comes to life and murders people.
I thought it was a fucking redhead.
No,
guy.
No. It's actually voiced by Gary Busey in the first one, which is fantastic.
Oh, no shit.
But my favorite of all of these is Evil Bong. And Evil Bong is a super low budget film about a group of stoners that get a mysterious package in the mail, and it turns out to be this bong that is in fact alive and evil. And the more people smoke out of it, the more power it gets. And when you smoke out of the Evil Bong, it draws you into Bong World. And in Bong World, it's basically a strip club, but the strippers are all wearing one of the strippers has they're all wearing first of all, sorry, I get really excited talking about this movie. I love it. They're all strippers, so in scenes they're totally topless and dancing, but then for every kill scene, they're suddenly wearing a bra. And one of them it's two shark heads, one of them it's two skulls, and one of them it's two sets of lips. And at some point, the guy's getting a lap dance, and the fucking whatever's on their tits will come to life and eat them. And that's how it kills people.
That's how it kills people.
That's how it kills people. And everybody it kills gets more and more power. And Evie is the name of the bong, or Evie, excuse me. And she gets more and more humanistic figures. She actually gets a face and shit and starts talking to people as she gains more power. And I'm just gonna spoiler alert right now because I want to talk about it. Fuck it. The ending of the movie, fucking Tommy Chong makes an out of nowhere cameo, and basically he goes into Bong World, and because he's such a stoner, he is able to smoke EB under the table, and he basically gains control of Bong World. And then it ends with him playing with Hot Wheels with the strippers hanging out with him. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's
That's
dumb.
actually the perfect.
And it's the best.
That sounds like a
movie
perfect
ever.
ending though.
It's so
fucking
good.
Tommy Chung.
Dude, they made 6 sequels to this movie, and I'm not even kidding.
What?
They even have a crossover where it's Evil Bong versus the Ginger Dead Man.
Why haven't I ever seen this, man? Or heard about
You gotta
this?
check it out. And again, they're the worst best movies.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
They're the best worst movies. Yeah. And Troll 2. I gotta throw it out for Troll 2 too. Sorry.
Oh, the one that's called Troll 2, not Part 2 of Troll 2?
Right,
Troll?
it's called Troll 2, but it has nothing to do with Troll 1. And actually, the movie's about goblins, not trolls.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, okay, we gotta watch Strange Wilderness together.
Yeah, I feel
movie.
like I've heard that movie. I don't know that I've seen that movie, but...
There's a Bigfoot involved.
Oh! It's from, the 1980s?
No, it's not that old.
Are you sure?
Okay, the era that they're trying to do it in, I guess it could be called a period piece, but no, it didn't come out in the 1980s.
Okay, maybe I'm tripping then.
Are you thinking about that? Are you thinking
Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah, Harry and the Hendersons.
Maybe, I don't know.
It was funny because that's the first time I remember that bald actor that's super famous now.
From Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah, the dad.
What's his name?
That's the first time I saw him.
Was he Coach?
No.
T. Wright or something?
Yeah, some T. Did you ever hear the Family Guy joke about that? Or Peter writes a note to him.
Oh yeah. I have seen that.
And then he spills white out, and it says, "I will kill you." And he shows up. He's like, "Go ahead, just kill me." It's so sad. But no, he was in Third Rock from the Sun also.
Oh, John Lithgow.
Yeah, John Lithgow.
Yeah, that's who it was.
That was the first time I saw him.
Dude, ever since I saw the 3rd season of Dexter, I don't know if you watch that show, but he's the Trinity Killer, and now I can't see John Lithgow as not the Trinity Killer.
I don't remember. Well, I never paid attention. My ex-girlfriend used to watch.
Yeah.
What they call it?
Dexter?
Dexter. She used to watch Dexter.
I like the first 3 seasons a lot, and then it just kind of slowly trickled downhill from there.
I can't do drama shows. That gets weird.
Interesting.
I really don't. like to pay attention to them at all. Like, I only
You have enough drama in your own
I
life?
lightly... Well, the way I view television is I want to be entertained and by laughing. Because
Sure.
I want to laugh at stuff. I don't want to see dramatic things because I see that all the time with regular people.
Because you're going to cry enough on your own, you don't need the inspiration.
So I don't know. So I could never really get into drama shows. I want to laugh. I don't mind a little bit of drama, like Scrubs. I feel like Scrubs had a
Dramedy, if you will.
Yeah, they had a perfect combination of not too drama, but it was fucking hilarious. They had jokes.
I don't really like straight drama. I like more horror, and Dexter is about a serial killer, so it's got more of that horror. But I mean, it very much is a drama show. You're right, but
like,
I like the horror element.
What's that zombie show?
Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I couldn't really get into that one.
I could only watch a couple. I could only pay attention too much through one through 3, and after that, I stopped caring.
Same. Yeah, it's literally the exact same. Like once they got to the prison, I was like
Third,
done.
yeah, I was just like, too much things happening.
I'm bored.
The action part of they only threw enough action to get your attention. Up until the third season, they're like, you know what? People are paying more attention. We don't have to do all the zombie stuff that made us fucking cool.
Yeah, I couldn't
Eating
really get
a
into
horse
it
on the
either.
first episode.
That
That
was
was fun. And then after that, just like, oh, the zombies, nothing's happening. Oh, somebody turned into zombie somehow. Oh, but they, that's it. And then, I don't know. It's like, I want zombies all the time.
I would like more zombie action, please.
A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more.
I feel like that show would be better if it was just 30 minutes even. Like keep the same amount of zombie action, but just shorten the drama. Yeah, I agree.
When I heard about the Negan character though, I was like, he's cool. And you know what? I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, if the world ended, I was like, I'd totally be Negan.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah?
I don't kill people because it's illegal. But if it was legal,
once you get into that like just chaotic state,
yeah,
like,
fuck it. There's no more rules. I would kill everybody because the more people that are dead around me, the less chance I have of dying.
Not in a zombie apocalypse situation. The more dead bodies around you, the more likely you're gonna have zombies, sir.
But
I don't think you know how zombies work.
But after if I get away from that situation, obviously there's gonna be people. I'm gonna run into people.
Yeah,
Are you just killing off everybody you come in contact with?
You cut me off in traffic, bang!
Right.
Okay, I got asked this question.
No allies.
No. I got asked this question.
Fuck diplomacy.
My girlfriend asked me because I brought this up to her, and I was like, okay. I was like, look, if I was here and something like that happened, I would obviously I'd try to get to my family. But let's just say I was in New York and something like that happened, and and the news breaks out and like, oh, certain like this area of Texas has been overrun or something like that, or like just like the DFW area just overrun. I'd be like, okay, my family's dead, and people are it's gonna start happening all around me. Then I'm like, that's it. I don't know anybody of these people around me. Yeah. And once I get past that survival mode of
So you're gonna go far enough away that you have no emotional attachment to anyone and just blast away.
I would have to. I would have to because eventually somebody's gonna try to kill me, and
I mean,
if
dog eat dog, eh?
If nobody's I'd have to, man.
I feel like you do really well in a Hunger Games scenario.
I'm sorry to see you in a large room if I see somebody sneezing, because I see your trigger finger itching.
Are you competing in Funniest Comic in Texas? Because I'm suddenly terrified, dude. If I get up in the same seat as you, I'm like, whoop, I'm sick. I can't make it tonight.
No, I hope nobody takes that out of context, by the way.
I just want to casually murder you all. Don't take that the wrong way.
Don't, man. Everything's going to be fine,
Especially in New York. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even get into just talking about ending stuff. I don't even know why I brought that up.
I would have chosen to go a different direction myself.
Trying to kill people is what I'm talking about.
Man. And this is how the podcast goes.
It's fun.
I still want to hear. Did we finish talking about your acid trips?
Oh shit. Yeah, I think I told you the mushroom trip. That's really the most interesting one, man. That's my best I took way too many drugs to her.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I think it'd be fun if we sat down, took some acid, and watched some of these movies that we haven't seen of each other. You know, like the
I'm way into that idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
Evil Bong in particular, dude, like that
I
one.
totally want to hear it.
Like I actually have seen that on mushrooms a couple times.
Yeah.
It's one of my go-tos, but like it's the great way to end the night. But it actually has like the colored rings around it when you're in Bong World, and like the room will just like paint itself
Let's
as you're
do it
watching.
sometime, man. I'll talk to Ferris and see if he wants to join us, man.
We can let him ruin some blunts.
We can. Oh man.
Maybe we'll smoke out a glass that night.
Okay, it's 5:30. We've been going for I don't know where the time is at. It's somewhere up there. Anyway, okay, there's this thing I like to do, and I should have told you ahead of time, but I'm an idiot. I always forget to tell people.
It's cool.
But I do a thing where we call Conan O'Brien's podcast, and I let my guests ask him a question.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Love Conan O'Brien. You know, he was a Simpsons
cool.
writer.
You know what? After all that we've talked about, I would have been shocked if you didn't love Conan O'Brien. Because he definitely seems like your kind of humor. Like
I have a question I'm dying to ask him. So yeah.
Oh, cool! Like out of all the talk show hosts, he's always been my favorite because he's so silly.
Oh, dude, I used to love Conan in like the '90s, especially.
Yeah.
My favorite segment back in the day when I was in like middle school was in the year 2000. If you remember.
Yeah,
that.
in the year 2000 was
90s,
amazing.
Yeah, it was so good.
I remember the time he had Jim Carrey on there, and it was Jim Carrey doing the in the year 2000.
He also used to do like celebrity interviews where he'd have like the mouth over.
Yeah, those were awesome. Barbara Streisand, was it Barbara Streisand? No, the fucking cook lady, the home person.
Martha Stewart?
Martha Stewart and when he did Arnold were my favorite. When he did Arnold, when the guy who was that comedian?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I don't remember who did the actual mouthing of it.
Who was that comic? I want to know who that was. 'Cause I know he's still doing comedy now.
Interesting.
I know he is. I've heard him on Joe Rogan too. I know I have.
Since you brought her up though, one of my favorite things to like talk about is, did you know that Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are like legit like tight homies?
Yeah.
Like
That's funny.
That makes me so happy. Like
that's funny.
To just imagine those two like you can see it like Martha Stewart like bakes some delightful treats and Snoop rolls up some blunts and they come and like watch like the fucking HGTV together and just munch and like get stoned as fuck.
They have become like the fucking epitome of what your relationship can be if you just let all the previous
bullshit
shit go.
Yeah,
and
just
hang
like
out
each
with
other,
another
man.
person.
Just have fun.
And I'm pretty sure it helps too that that a Snoop Dogg is throwing down the pipe. You know he's fucking beating that old.
Oh,
that
dude, I'm sure of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was an episode of Cribs back in, like, since we were talking about the 90s and shit, but like back when that was popular and whatever that was, I remember they did Snoop Dogg's, and Snoop Dogg at the time had all these little butler statues that had little silver trays, and all of them were just lined with joints, and he had one in every room of his house. So at any room that he was in at any time, he'd have like pre-rolled joints just like available.
Wouldn't that like? What if you like constantly miss the same joint and that joint
and just
there
got
for, like,
old as
2
shit?
years? Yeah,
and
like,
eventually just smoking this dry ass fucking
like,
joint.
The fuck is this?
And it
man?
burns faster than those papers we used earlier.
Huh. Didn't he have a professional or a joint roller you paid?
I'm sure of it, yeah.
Because I remember him mentioning it. Then that you mentioned the actual butler stands. Like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking I want that job.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go ahead.
Let's call Conan, man.
Let's call Conan. Oh, he hasn't heard from me in a while. I always think it's funny wondering what the guy who listens to the messages be like. God damn it, not them again, or not him again. Okay, let me do it. Go. Put on speaker.
Hey, Conan O'Brien here. Here's the deal. Ask me a question. Feel free to ask me anything you want. And maybe, just maybe, I will answer your question on the podcast. So be creative, go for it, and maybe I'll be talking to you soon.
Hey, Conan O'Brien, it is Rudy from the Rudy-nomics podcast, and I'm sitting here with local Dallas-Fort Worth comic Miles Francis, and he has a question for you.
Yeah, I just got put on the spot, Conan, but I host a Simpsons podcast called the Best Darn Diddly Review Show, so my question to you is, will you be a guest on my podcast and come talk about the Simpsons with me?
You know he's not going to do that.
You think he's going to answer your question? Maybe he'll roast me. I'm good with that.
He's gonna be okay. The question might show up on his podcast. He might answer it.
D-I-D-D-L-Y, Conan. D-I-D-D-L-Y.
and the guy who's gonna review it. Imagine if he did get that to Conan. Conan like, I'm not gonna do some fucking shitty production
not at all.
comics podcast.
Maybe he's maybe you know what? Maybe his passion is doing shitty comics local podcasts.
Thanks, Conan, guys, and other people, Sona Mosesian and, God damn it, I know the other guy.
Legit Gorley, love you, Conan. Love you so much.
Matt Gorley. Thanks, guys. Yeah, there we go. You know what? When I started, I would call and then I would end the call. And we would talk about it, me and the guests. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to let it keep recording.
Has he ever acknowledged any of your
not
calls?
Yet. Not yet.
You call every time?
Every time I do a podcast, for the most part, yeah.
That's
Unless
awesome.
the comic doesn't really know anything about Conan.
How are you in comedy and you don't know who Conan the Brian is?
Fucking shit, man. I don't know. I do not know. I mean, the other shows, yeah, they're kind of funny and they have some good writers for them. Daily Show is one I would watch. If you're a comic, and you're not
Trevor
watching
Noah?
Daily Show,
Yeah.
because so many comics go into that, and then they become more known, and then they're like huge once they get out of there.
If nothing else, watch the Daily Show so that you know that somebody's already doing political humor better than you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're fucking great at it. But like, yeah, I mean, Conan is a great comedy show, and plus, yeah, they have other comics on there, doing their bits and whatnot. But he always seemed like he had more fun, just enjoying talking to people like nothing. And he knew his bits were stupid. He was like,
he just commits to it, man.
He's like there'd be times where things happen. He's just like, and he would look at the drummer guy, Max Weinberg
in the Max Weinberg.
Yeah,
7.
man. He'd look at Max, and Max would look at him, and they just look back at each other. Damn it. Anyway, okay. Anything else you want to say? You want some shout outs to any shows or anything like that?
Dude, I'll shout myself out again. I'm at Mr. Most Days Off everywhere online. I've got the Simpsons podcast at Best Darn Diddly. That's D-I-D-D-L-Y. And other than that, man, I'm just really excited to be here talking with you today. This is a lot of fun. I'd love to do it again, and let's do some drugs and hang out at some point.
Fuck yeah. Do you have any shows coming up that you want to?
Best comic in Texas, or funniest comic in Texas. I should learn the name of it before I promote it. I'm on the December 8th show, and I'm at the Addison location, not the Arlington location. So hopefully you and I will actually see each other at some point, because we're going to have to get pretty far down the line for that to ever be a possibility.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, man, I don't know if I'll pass the first.
Honestly, I think it's low odds, but I'm just going to go have fun.
I'm going to try.
Go be funny.
That's what I made all these flyers for. So
yeah, you're putting a lot more effort into it than I am, bro. I'm just going to try to tell jokes.
I'm going to hand them out to I'm going to hand them out to co-workers and that place Hempy's. I can bring it there. She said she'd tell people to come to my show.
And you're like right here, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm right here. So yeah, it's not that far. And I'm really hoping to get people there so I can move up to the next level.
That'd be dope, bro.
Because the set I've been doing.
You're on this Wednesday?
Yeah. Did you see the set that I did yesterday?
No, I did not.
Were you gone by then?
I was. I came from another show yesterday, and I was so far down. I was like, I'm just gonna call it a night.
Well, that's it. I've been doing that for about 2 weeks now, and I've got it to where it's fucking pretty damn funny.
Nice.
So
that's what you're gonna bring.
That's when
you plan on doing 4, 5, 6. How much time do you think you're gonna do in there? Because you got 4 to 6 minutes in the first round. So I don't know.
Somebody said 2 minutes.
Double check that, bro. I'm pretty sure it's 4 to 6.
Well, who was it? Really good source. Tony Castilla said that it was 2 minutes.
Interesting. Like I said, double check, because if that's the case, I need to review my set as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When I heard that 2 minutes, I was like,
we'll both double check and see
I
what we
need
find.
I need to compact this.
Yeah.
I can do it. I just don't need to.
Well, now you
I
have
know
to
what I gotta
work
do.
on expanding it back
2
out.
minutes, I have to go hard. 2 minutes.
2 minutes is a short window.
It is.
You gotta be
Especially
real
if you're
funny
not a
real fast.
one-liner like me. I'm not a one-liner.
We're both more conversational, more story driven.
Yeah. You ever hear my LSD trip story? The one we did where I
The one you do on stage?
yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to tweak that one out. I still don't know how to end it because I was tripping so hard. All I remember was laying in my bed with those fucking beads. Those beads.
Like Mardi Gras beads?
Mardi Gras beads.
Yeah.
I was holding it on my head, just swirling it, just so I can see. That's how my night ended. And then after that, I think I beat off and went to bed. But
maybe there's a Mardi Gras joke in there or something. Topless, flashing.
But I was 16 when that happened.
Right on.
And the hard part for me for writing that, I don't want to fabricate anything. So I don't know how to.
Oh, get
end
over
it.
that, sir. I fabricate all my shit.
Yeah, I know.
If it's going for the stage, man, it's like, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. We talked about. Okay. Are you doing any of the showcases? The Butch showcases?
No, I did a Butch showcase, Bachelor showcase a while back. I got the video, but I haven't booked another one of those. It was fun. I'd
Why
do
don't
it
you
again.
do it again?
Just honestly, I've had schedule conflicts with other shows and other things.
Yeah, because they're always on Sunday.
Well, and like a lot of it too. Like I got invited to do several of them in October, but in October I'm much more focused on the scaring than I am on the comedy. So I didn't take the month of October off, but I just did probably a third to half as much as I normally do, like open mic scene wise, in October, just because I was scaring the pants off of people.
I'm actually doing 3 shows.
Good, dude.
December. I'm doing Fort Worth, Plano, and
All 3 Bachelor showcases?
Yeah.
The Plano,
Yeah.
Dallas, and Fort Worth?
yeah.
Good for you, man.
All right, you can take a couple flyers. But
Look at you with your flyers, bro.
yeah, I'm doing oh shit, I handed you all of them and I didn't check the date on it.
So you're in Dallas December 8th, the same day I'm in Addison on, that's interesting that there's a showcase on that day too.
Yeah.
So we're going to be competing for people to come, just so you know.
Oh, it's fine. When I do the showcases, I really don't talk
Yeah,
to
hear
people.
that
I
much,
just did it just because I have enough time to
It's
do
fun,
it.
dude. It's stage time, you get video.
No, but like the flyers, I just did the flyers to just have to hand them out. But I really don't expect too many people to come to showcases.
Looks dope.
Yeah, Everett makes my things, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Everett makes all of them for me, and he makes some really funny ones.
And he's really good at it,
He's
yeah.
getting
I
good.
love the thing he did with this podcast with the Wolverine.
Yeah,
looking
that
at
was
the Jean
hilarious,
Grey
right?
picture.
If you guys haven't seen the cover, the advertising, the promo, it was me as Wolverine crying, and I remember that scene in X-Men. He was crying over Jean Grey. You know what I'm talking about, Gino? Did you see
The
Did
gloves.
you see it? Did you see the promo to it?
Oh, no, I know you're talking about the cartoon, not the promo. So.
Yeah.
That's how the promo's based off of. I love the artistic way he went with spelling my name. That was cool.
Oh, he had it right the first time, and I thought that he knew what he was talking about. And here you go, man.
Dude, what's actually really funny about that is, so last night I did a show, and I did a comedy show I told you about, wherever it was, Rowlett, and then today I did this, and it's the first time my name's ever been misspelled on a comedy flyer, and it happened on both of them this week.
Oh,
Both
really?
the same way, yeah. It happens. I'm not mad about it. It's cool, dude. Don't sweat it.
I think he noticed when I put it on Facebook.
Because my name's spelled
put your name
differently
on
than the
there?
way you wrote it? Yeah, totally. I would have noticed that too.
And he was all like, "Oh shit, I fucked it up." But he had it right the first time. I don't know why he changed. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's all good, dude.
Thank you, though. I'm always grateful, Everett.
Oh no, man. Yeah,
I criticize
it was awesome.
you, man.
It was. We're just roasting, but it's a dope thing.
Yeah. Okay, and with that, guys, I'm gonna end it right there, and we will see you soon.
Thanks so much for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, dude, Miles, fuck yeah, man. It was very good talking to you.
For real, dude.
God, you got sweaty ass.
Sit on the fucking couch,
Jesus
fucking.
Christ, man. Yeah, I guess so. Thanks everybody, and thanks Miles for coming. And you know, for sure we're gonna do this again. I still have a lot more stuff to talk to you about.
Sounds good, man. I'm in.
And everybody see ya. Oh yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook. UNG Odyssey on some of them, or Rudy Ramsey, whatever. And then subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and Spotify. Yeah.
All the places.
Yeah, all the places. 10 major ones. You know what's funny? Not on Podbean.
You can change that.
Oh shit! No! I don't want to exit.
You delete the whole damn thing.
Stop
Start over.
and